Hello folks out there who are preparing for design-based examinations NID, Uceed and NIFT. As you are all aware of the common exam patterns which has been followed in the recent past, scene drawing is an inevitable part of design examination. When you look back at the questions, we can see there are commonly two patterns of scene drawing. One is, you will be given an image of the scenario and you are supposed to illustrate that from a specific person's perspective. On the other hand, you will be given a passage or a paragraph. You have to go through the passage and you are supposed to illustrate the small details provided in the paragraph through a scene drawing. These are the two common patterns which have been seen in the past design examinations. Aspirants who are attending these sort of questions are supposed to satisfy certain criteria. For example, importance of perspective, understanding lighting and shadow, sense of scale and proportion, human anatomy and texturing. So let's try demonstrating a previous year NID questions on scene drawing. This is Vibhu Surendran from THiNC Institute of Design. So let's start with a previous NID question. I'll first of all dictate the question for you and then we'll move on to the drawing part. So the question goes like this. A drawing of a kitchen is given below. A 3-year-old child enters the kitchen and observes the scenario from the point marked X on the floor. Visualize and draw the scene from the child's point of view. So if you have been following previous NID or Uceed question papers, it is very commonly seen that to visualize a scenario, either it could be presented verbally where you won't be having a drawing, or the other way around where you will be given a drawing and you have to visualize from a specific point of view, which could be a small kid, or the viewer can be sitting somewhere, or it could be an insect. You have to visualize the scenario from its perspective. These sort of questions are very common. So let's start the drawing. So here we will assume the 3-year-old kid who is looking towards the front of the kitchen, and remember the eye level is going to be relatively lower because it's a small kid. So first of all, we are going to draw the exact opposite wall which is going to be seen by the kid, which is probably a rectangular room. So I'll first of all draw that. This is the room, right? Initially, I'm going to draw a slightly light with a hard pencil so that I can understand how the things are. Then I'll draw with a darker pencil to bring the things out of it. So I've drawn basically the first rectangle. Now I'm going to visualize what is the size of an adult in the room. If he or she is in the room, what would be his or her height? So if there is an adult, this would be the height of he or her of an adult in the room. This will be the shoulder, this will be the hip, and this will be the toe. And if it's a kid who is in the room, when you compare with the adult, a 3-year-old kid would be somewhere between the hip and the knee. So let's assume this is a 3-year-old child. There it is. Right? Now the eye level with respect to the kid becomes the horizon. There it is. So this becomes the horizon. And based on where the kid is in the room, if she is in the center or towards the left or right, we mark the vanishing point. So we have already marked the horizon based on the kid's eye level. Then I am assuming from the drawing that the point X is somewhere around the center, maybe slightly towards the left. So this is center, slightly towards the left. So I am assuming this is the kid, but a ghost figure of the kid, right? Ghost figure means she is not actually on the wall, she is slightly a bit farther away from the wall, but this is just to identify the vanishing point, and this becomes the vanishing point. Now if you have got the vanishing point, then we can draw the room by extending lines through the corners, and here we have the room. Yeah, so I hope you guys can see the room which has already started coming out. So here you have the opposite wall. You can see the left side of the wall here, the right side of the wall on this side, and the floor over here. So this is the exact way the room is going to be seen. Now we are going to bring out the platform on which the cooking happens. The storage compartment which all you can see will be drawn by using a box which is protruding out of the wall. So I'm going to draw that first. Now based on the height of the platform, it seems it is above the eye level of the kit. So I am going to assume this to be the platform height somewhere here. So I will draw that, right, and the platform is protruding out of the wall. So here we go, it comes out along this line. How much do you want it to come out? So I will mark the extension. So this marks the extension here. I go back, and here you get a extension, a box which comes out of the room, okay, hence building the platform. See, you will not be able to see the top of this surface because the surface is above the eye level of the kit, so you are not going to see that. So here we have. Now we will start with drawing the small table or small stool which is kept in front of the platform surface. So I am going to draw that, and it's supposed to be smaller in relation with the eye level of the kit. So this can be the approximate height of the stool. So here we go. So I am going to draw the stool somewhere here. This is the height, and it is slightly towards the left of the viewer. I am going to bring it out, give it depth. There we go. You can already see the box in which I am going to construct this table, and since this tool is below the eye level of the kit, I will definitely be seeing the top surface of it. Here we go, you can see top of it. So I will give it a width, and I will draw the legs. See, while drawing illustrations of this sort, you need not be very perfect in terms of your lines. You need not use scale at all, and actually the beauty of this sketch is when it is drawn very organically, or when you draw using your free hand without using any scale. It gives life to the sketch, but if you use scale, it becomes very typical engineering type of drawing, and it loses the feel. Okay, so here I have drawn the small stool, and the platform is also drawn. Now we are going to start with the shelf, which you can see on the right top. There is a shelf. So I will start drawing the shelf somewhere here, right. So first of all, I will mark the space where the shelf is going to come. So this is how the shelf is probably going to come. This is the area in which the shelf is going to be stuck. Now it has to come out of the wall. So as usual, I will draw extensions from the vanishing point. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I will give it a thickness. You mark thickness on any one edge. You can take any edge. So let's assume this side. I will take this is the thickness. Here it touches here, then we go to that side. From there we go up again, and then you come back, and there you have the basic box of the shelf. And here you can see since the entire shelf is above the eye level, you will not be seeing any top portion of the shelf. Okay, you will not see any of the rack of the shelf. The top portion of the rack won't be visible because the entire thing is above the eye level of the kit. So here we have a rack somewhere in between, somewhere here, and if I draw that also will be like this. So a lot of time I have seen students who are drawing perspective, they don't give thickness to objects. For example, while drawing a stool, they forget to give enough thickness. I am going to draw a shelf, I need to provide enough thickness. It is made up of wood, it has a material thickness to it. So make sure you don't forget adding the material thickness to the object. So here I go, I added the material thickness. I will go back, and there we go. There I have drawn the basic shelf. Right. So this here, if you look at the sketch, you can see you are only able to see the bottom on this side, here, and even here. You are not able to see the top because the entire stuff is above the eye level. Similarly, there is a large long rack which can be seen in the kitchen, okay, on which there are certain containers and cups and all hung. So let's try drawing that part over here. So it seems it is somewhere at this point on the wall. So first of all draw a line with respect to that like this. Now how long do you want it? Is might be somewhere around this side. So you should always relate dimensions with respect to the drawing. Where is the point where the shelf is coming out from the wall? How far it is from one of the corner or edges of the roof? How far is the shelf and this rack? What is the distance between them? All this has to be kept in mind. It has to be carefully identified before drawing this perspective. So first of all, mark this as the point where the rack is going to come. Now I have to bring it out of the wall. So again drawing lines through this vanishing point, right, and there you go. Now I have to provide a thickness. As usual, I have given a thickness, and there you go. There we have the rack, right. Now there is a window which is seen on the left side of the wall, which is very close to the platform. So I will draw the window somewhere here, very close to the platform. It's slightly elevated. The bottom portion of the window is slightly elevated from the platform surface. So maybe it's here, like that. And the top portion of it is somewhere here, I suppose, right. Now I'll give a thickness to the window like this, and there you have your window. Right. Now to give it a thick depth which is going inside. So if there is something coming out, the line has to go here. If it's going inside, you have to draw to the other way. So here it goes. Then from there I come down, and from here I'll again punch through this. So there you have marked the window, right, and then you probably have the window panes, which I will draw using a. See, actually the window goes a bit more down because we are not able to see since it is above the eye level. So you need not draw the bottom portion like this. Yeah, so that is the window. So we are done with the window, we have done all the necessary thumb stuff. Now we are just have to incorporate the things which are being seen on the drawing. I'll finish off with the rack, the platform first. A small bottom portion of that extension will be seen like that, right. So here we have drawn all the necessary things. I will draw the room interior, the other part, this is going to be the exact perspective. So if you are able to construct this much, you have already cleared almost 80% of the correct drawing with respect to the kids. Nobody can challenge you on that aspect. Okay, so this will be the exact way the perspective is going to be seen. You just have to aesthetize with the given objects. For example, there is a small container, probably the pot of the pressure cooker, which is kept on the platform, but since the platform itself is not seen, you might not see the entire platform as such, the pressure cooker pot, you might not be able to see the entire pot as such. So here we go, I'm going to try illustrating that, and here we go, it is slightly to the one, and the pot actually goes a bit towards the bottom because you can't see that side, and then the handle of the pot coming out like this. So this is what you probably would be seeing. You might not be able to see more of it, that's it. This is how you will be seeing the pot, right? This is not the bottom of it, by the way. I hope you understood that. This is not the bottom. The bottom comes somewhere here actually. This is the the line which is there between the top and bottom portion of the body, right? So there it is. I have drawn the right. Now I'll go to the containers which are kept on the rack. First we have a small there is a can which is kept over there. I'll first draw the can. But as such, you will not be able to see the can completely because the can is below the eye level of the viewer. That is the way the can is going to be seen. Similarly, the inclined container might not be seen by you. It will be something like that. The cup, there is a mug like stuff. Right, a mug, and then the pot, the pot is probably there somewhere slightly behind. So that is how you are going to see the mug and the pot. Okay, and then you have a frying pan which is probably hanging from the rack on the top. So here we go. To keep proportion into consideration, it is relatively smaller when considering the so you have the and then there are certain cups which are hanging. And I hope this is connected to the shelf on the right side. From there, two cups are hanging. A very rough sketching of what is going to be seen. Yeah, there you have your cups. Okay, this can be maybe slightly bit more bigger, I feel so. Yes. Now we'll draw the remaining bottom portion of the platform. We'll introduce racks in it. That's it. So every time when you draw details, just make sure whether the object is above or below the eye level based on, for example, if I'm going to draw the handle, I'm drawing in such a way that I show the bottom portion of it. See here, I could have drawn it like this, right? But I'm drawing the other way around. Why? Because the object is somewhere above. See, this is the horizon. So it is above the horizon, so it has to be like this. Same way here also. And if you follow these lines, you can see it is actually supposed to go to the vanishing point. like that. But you can draw it a bit more casually. There you have. See here, it is below the eye level, and hence look at the way the difference of these two handles. This is above the horizon, this is below the horizon. Same way here also. I think you can't draw the detail there, but if one is here, it will be somewhat like that, right? And you have a small I usually don't encourage using a lot of erasers in the session, but this is for small corrections you can use. Here we have some more containers within the shelf. I'll introduce that also. Right, some plates. That's it. See, one thing which you have to always remember while drawing a perspective is, especially when you are drawing cylindrical things, you have a very good tip for this. Assume there is a 1 rupee coin. I am drawing it on the horizon. It's not related to this drawing for the time being. I'll just show you the process. When you are drawing something which is circular or cylindrical, if assuming a 1 rupee coin which is kept on the horizon, it will be seen like this. As the coin goes up slightly, it becomes like this. See, you start to see the bottom of it. If it still goes up, you'll start to see a lot more of the bottom, see? And if it still goes further above, it will be like this. So further it starts moving up, you're going to see a lot more of the portion until you see a simple circle where it is really on the top. So here you can see the difference, how the bottom portion, this is say 1 rupee coin, so you can see one which is getting developed. Same way if it comes down, the 1 rupee is coming down, the process gets repeated on the other way. And here you have the Ashoka symbol maybe, and that is getting extended. So the point what I am trying to put forward here is, whenever you are drawing cylindrical objects, if the surface is very close to the horizon, draw the ellipse slightly thinner, and if the object is relatively above the horizon or below the horizon, make the elliptical part relatively large. Right? So with this we have basically drawn the entire scene. This is something external just for the sake of theory, but if you forget this, we have basically constructed the entire drawing exactly with respect to a 3-year-old kid visualizing the scene. Right? So here you can see how we started off with drawing the opposite wall, identified an adult ghost with respect to which we drew a kid who is probably whose height is somewhere in between the hip and the knee. Then we fixed the horizon. Now identify the kid's placement in the room, whether she is at the left or the right or the center, assuming somewhere a bit towards the left from the center. We have started drawing, identifying, we set up the vanishing point and we have started drawing the scene. Right? This is the final deliverable for this question. You can, if you want, you can frame the scenario, or you will actually be given a space within which you are going to draw that. So this will be your final deliverable. You are supposed to frame it like this, and this will be your outcome. The remaining things can be erased off. Right? So there we go. This is the final answer. I hope you understood how the process started. So when you go for a drawing of this sort, very critical that you keep the eye level intact. Okay. We can randomly start with illustrating from a very casual point of view, but the perspective might not be very true. Here it is for sure that we have identified the logic behind, and we have set up in such a way that the perspective is very perfect, right? So with that we have come to the end of the question, and this is what is expected from you in a design examination.
We have short-term courses, long-term courses. Short-term courses include crash batches and foundation batch, and long-term courses include regular batches, repeater batches, and long-term weekend batches. For more details regarding our courses, visit our website www.thinkdis.com. The link will be provided in the description box below. Let's design your career. Let's design it together with THiNC Institute of Design. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also click the bell icon. Bye. Stay tuned for more updates.